I booked an Uber after landing in my hometown for the first time in 12 years. Halfway through the ride, the driver changed routes and started driving toward the house I grew up in. I hadn't been back to my hometown since my mom's funeral. 12 years. That's how long it took for a place to stop feeling like home and start feeling like a memory you avoid touching. I only came back because my company sent me there for a conference. One night, cheap hotel, early flight back. That was the plan. So when I got into the Uber outside the airport, I barely looked at the driver. Middle-aged guy, quiet, old coffee smell in the car. I gave him the hotel address and put my headphones on. Then, about 15 minutes later, I looked up and realized we weren't near downtown anymore. We were heading toward the suburbs. My suburbs. At first, I thought maybe he missed a turn. Then, we passed the old grocery store where my mom used to buy those terrible frozen pizzas I pretended to hate. My stomach tightened instantly. I think you're going the wrong way, I said. The driver didn't answer immediately, just kept both hands on the wheel. Then, quietly, not exactly, that's when I sat up fully, because suddenly, the road felt familiar in a way that made my chest hurt. The old park, the cracked church sign, the gas station that still somehow existed. Then the driver glanced at me through the mirror and said, "You still bite your nails when you're nervous." Everything inside me went cold because I never told him my name. "Who are you?" I asked immediately. He pulled into a quiet street before answering. My street, the one I hadn't seen since I was 19 years old and screaming at my mother that I'd never come back. The driver parked across from my old house, only it didn't look like my house anymore. The porch swing was gone, different paint, flowers planted near the mailbox. Someone else lived there now. Then the driver finally said, "Your mom used to talk about you every Friday." I stopped breathing for a second because I recognized his voice. Not from somewhere important, from somewhere small. He was the night cashier from the gas station near our neighborhood, the guy my mom always talked to after her late hospital shifts. "She came in every week after you left," he said quietly. I stared out the window without speaking. She'd buy coffee she didn't even drink, a small laugh. Mostly, she just wanted someone to talk to about you. That hurt more than anger would have, because for 12 years, I told myself she probably moved on, that she stopped caring after our last fight. Then, he reached into the glove compartment and handed me something, folded carefully in plastic. A photo, old, slightly faded. Me, at 16, holding a birthday cake in our kitchen. On the back, in my mom's handwriting, "In case he ever comes back." My throat closed instantly. She left it with me a few months before she died. He said softly, "She figured someday you'd take an Uber from the airport again." I sat outside that house for almost an hour after he left, just staring at the porch light. Someone else turned on now, and the worst part, for years, I thought I stayed away because I stopped loving home. Turns out, I stayed away because I was terrified home still loved me back.